Guys, welcome.
What it is.
I know you have a thing with Steve, so I wanted him to sit next to you.
Yeah, man.
Steve,
we're gonna talk
Chris,
about that.
give it up for the Martinez Brothers.
What up?
Yo,
How y'all doing?
Pete Tong though, real quick. Can we get up
Pete
Pete Tong real quick?
legendary, man.
The legendary, the honorable. You know what I'm saying?
MBE.
Yeah, I thought, I was just thinking before this started that when we talk about how we represent what has been happening at the IMS over the last 10 years, you are a great example of what's been happening over the last 10 years because your story really started 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So maybe first thing, just give us a little bit of background about, you know, where you were, 2005, 2006, how you got started, your father's influence. Talk a bit about that, maybe Steve first.
Yeah, I mean, around that time, 2005, we were just, you know, dreaming of all this, you know what I mean, of being in the scene and, you know, DJing and traveling the world and making music. So, you know, around that time is when we, you know, met Dennis Ferrer. My brother hit him up on MySpace, and, you know, we became, you know, really good friends with him and basically family. And he basically took us under his wing, you know what I mean? And that was basically the start of everything, you know?
Where were you DJing before that? Because you would have been, you were young.
No,
Yeah,
but
we were young, yeah.
At that, not to cut you off, but nah, at that point, we were kind of, it's like he said, we were just doing our own parties. You know, we had a party with our dad and Victor Rosado, who is also a legend and from the Paradise Garage. We played with Larry Levan and, you know, The Loft and all these clubs back in the day. And my dad actually was good friends with him from all, you know, the club madness back then. And he bumped into him in the gas station randomly around that time, 2005, 2004. And that's when it came and clicked to him. You know, he was like, you know what? Maybe we could do parties. You know, maybe this is like could be a way I could put my kids up in the forefront. You know what I'm saying? So we connected with Victor. We started doing our own parties called the Kids a House and these garage parties as well. We started lugging out all our equipment to the city, to these loft spaces. And yeah, around that time, like 2005, 2006.
So, I mean, you see like crazy parents on talent shows want their daughter to become, you know, the next Adele. But your dad actually wanted you to become DJs. That was the career path.
I mean,
It was actually my brother, man. Like, if it was for my brother, this would not be happening. You know what I'm saying?
This has been a dream of me and my brother for a long time, you know what I mean? So, you know, thank God for our parents who were, you know, who were just supportive enough to just, you know, support us and, you know, let us do our thing.
Yeah.
Is it true you actually got to play Shelter back in the day?
Oh, a number of times.
That's
How
the
old were you
first
then?
club we ever played.
Like, I was maybe 14 years old.
Don't they have a strict 21 policy?
Yeah. The first time we played there, we actually had to go at 4 a.m. when they stopped serving liquor, so we could just actually be legally there. You know what I mean? And yeah, that was like our spot. You know what I mean? We were there for, you know, 2-3 years every weekend.
Yeah, we're shelter heads. We're shelter kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, ever since that
Was Timmy Regisford still there then?
Yeah, he was there.
You know, shout out to Timmy Regisford. You know, Ben Johnson. You know, that's where we met Phil Sonic, our brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it wasn't for the shelter gave us our first shot. You know what I mean? Like, before then, it was just like a lot of lounges, our parties, like we said before, like we were throwing. And as soon as we hit up Dennis Ferrer, he was having a party at the shelter, and he was like, you know what? Send me a mix. Let me hear how you guys sound. We send him our mix. He's like, yo, come through to the shelter. We came through at 4. He was like, yo, get right on. We started playing, and yo, ever since then, bro, it's just been.
Who's the first DJ like at home practicing you actually trying to mimic?
Timmy and Louis.
Yeah.
Timmy Regisford and Louis, you know what I mean? Like, we would buy tons of Louis CDs, you know what I mean? And Timmy would be on the radio every Saturday from like 11 p.m., 12 a.m. till like 6 a.m. live from the shelter.
I'll tell you a funny story, because this is about you, not about me, but it spans generations. When I first went to New York, like late 70s, early 80s, I met Timmy Regisford, and he taught me the whole concept of a mix show. And in those days, it was 2 turntables into a reel-to-reel machine. Then the reel-to-reel machine would run. He'd mix 2 more records on it onto another reel-to-reel machine. He had like tape all over the room. It was like it was madness. So respect to Timmy Regisford.
And to even just piggyback real quick, there was that BBC mix live at the shelter that we used to listen to all
Danny Rampling
the
used
time.
to broadcast live from the shelter.
All the time. Like, there was something called Deep House Page back in the day. It was like this forum thing. It was crazy.
So the other thing that happened just as we were starting the IMS here back in 2007 is I think that's the year you go to Miami with your dad like as your minder to play your first objectivity party. Tell us what that felt like.
Wow.
That was another legendary moment in our early days, man. Like that was crazy. So yeah, Objectivity had a party with Deep, which is a party that's based out of Los Angeles for Marcus Wyatt. And yeah, man, we just went over there, and Dennis played his set, and then we went to play our set, which was in a different side of the
A loungy
club.
area. It was in a loungy area, not in
Yeah.
a clubby area.
Yeah. And
The kids.
yeah,
Was
the
it- was
kids
it hard?
area, the
Did you
playroom.
feel it was hard to get taken seriously being that young at that time?
Kind
You
of,
weren't-
because like people would definitely look at us like a gimmick, you know what I'm saying? But they don't realize
You
that.
had real roots.
Yeah, like we've
Yeah.
been kind of like traveling since we were like even younger than 13, because we were in salsa bands and we were in church bands, and we just been kind of traveling since we've been.
Yeah, that's
like,
a bit we
born.
skipped over, right? That you learned, you both play.
Yeah.
From what age?
Since-
From when we can remember. Yeah.
What's your weapon of choice?
Drums. We love the drums,
Yeah,
man.
drums.
We're
Who would have
drummers.
guessed?
We like to bang.
So another thing happened 10 years ago. I think it was kind of one of the first kind of viral videos of you playing that
Yeah,
party. I think it
man.
went on the Defected Records site, right?
Yeah,
Nick
that was
Navarro.
crazy.
Yeah, shout out to Nick Navarro real quick. Around that time is when we started, like 2007 first started touring, and then things started kind of picking up, and Nick Navarro was like the first one to get footage of all those like moments, you know what I'm saying? Like our first tour to Paris, our first WMC. He was there for a lot of the first, you know what I'm saying? So he caught a lot of that, which is really dope, man.
So I don't know how long it was between then and you arriving in Ibiza, but certainly my first experience of you in Ibiza was Eric Murillo telling me, I'm booking these kids.
Yeah.
I'm booking these kids at Pasha and you've got to come and see them.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, fine, Eric. Like, no, you don't understand. They're fucking kids. They're kids. Was that your first show in Ibiza?
That's
Yeah.
our first show, man.
Ever.
Shout out to Eric Murillo. He was one of the first guys that actually even, looked out for us even before Ibiza in New York, Pacha, New York. We played a couple of shows with him.
Yeah, he introduced us into like the bigger room style of DJing and stuff. You know what I mean? Like before that, we would, like we said, just mass at work heads, like shelter heads, like, and we were still kids, so we were still learning too. You know what I mean? So,
Do you remember the first night at Pasha?
of course.
Definitely. We got that call. I forget.
What did you play?
Oh, man. We just played our thing, man. I never forget that day because we were just chilling at our house after some, we were partying like the week before or something like that. We were just hanging out with our family, and, Benny Soto calls and is like, yo, Eric needs an opener. And we're just like, what? Of course. Like, we're in there. And yeah, we just did our thing, man. And we had a nice relationship with him for sure for those years, definitely.
Was your dad on that trip?
Yeah, of course.
He was in every trip in the first 5 years. He was
So-
there.
So I've got kids. In fact, I think my son might be in the audience, and he's always asking me to go to DC10. So did you ask your dad if you could go to DC10?
Yo, you know what? It's so funny because I always think about that, man. Like,
How did you end up at DC10?
yeah, around that time, we had no idea. You know what I mean? Like, Ibiza was still so new to us. Like, we felt the magic. You know what I mean? But we didn't know what was really going on.
We were still really
You know what I mean?
sheltered, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
our dad was just wanted to keep us kind of on a leash, you know what I mean, slightly. So
Yeah,
we had to keep it cool.
We didn't start really finding out about DC10 honestly until like, I mean, at least me, I started seeing like all these videos, all these like, yo, what's this spot? What's this red place that I'm seeing? Like, everybody just going nuts at. You know what I mean? Like and people started to talk about it, and then we finally got to go there around like 2011.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And
2010.
Without your dad. Your
2010.
dad wasn't on that trip.
Nah, Dad wasn't
Dad
on
was
that
not
trip.
there, yeah.
Love you, Dad. But he wasn't on
So
that trip.
why DC10? So what you've made choices then.
Yeah.
You're making choices because you got Pasha trying to book you.
It was
you
meant
probably
to
could have
happen.
done. You probably could have done Amnesia. You could
I
have
think
gone.
the DC-10 was definitely a divine intervention, you know what I mean? Because we were actually scheduled to come to Ibiza for the season on a Ushuaia residency.
Okay.
And that 2 weeks prior to the opening, it fell through. But we were just like, you know what? Let's just go to Ibiza and just feel the vibe out for the summer anyway. And that's when we, went to DC-10 and we hooked up with them, and yeah, it kind of
How did
started a
you
relationship.
how did you get your first gig there? Because you kind of it's like
I
a
got you.
college there. You
Yeah.
have to almost work in the mailroom.
Nah, it's true. What happened was we had played a gig literally right before. I think it was around
In Barcelona.
Sonar. Yeah, it was around
Sonar.
Sonar or something like that. And our boy Elliot Shaw, shout out to Elliot, man. He works with DC-10 as well. It was his party, so we had played the party with Tales of Us, and he was like, "Yo, like, where y'all playing this summer? Like, what's up?" And we're like, yo, honestly, we're just going there just to chill. Our residency fell through. He's like, all right, come through. I'm gonna see if I can get you a few dates at DC-10. And we just got that one date, and that one date was crazy.
That one date turned into 6-7 years.
So it was from them seeing you play somewhere else. You weren't sending in tapes or anything like that?
No.
They seen us play.
So your first show was on the terrace?
Nah.
The first show was in the main room at 6 o'clock, playing to the bar.
It's so funny, real quick, because it was almost like a shelter situation. Like we thought, like, damn, there's not gonna be anybody here. It's really early and this and that. But we were like, you know what, forget it, man. Like, as long as we're here, we're just gonna have a blast. We just came there, showed up, people showed up. It was a great time, you know what I mean? And it's a blessing to be a part of that.
Definitely.
I mean? It's a real blessing.
So you're now very much part of the family. I mean, you must have been tempted with big offers again to work at some of these other clubs, but you choose to stay there, which sort of notorious that DC-10 aren't the best payers, but
I think, but you know what? I think like when you're a DJ and you really love this thing, you know what I mean? Money is not really the most important thing, you know what I mean? Like we love, playing DC-10 and just, it's good for just our personal growth, you know what I mean? Like our family's there. It's like playing in your living room, you know what I mean? So
yeah, when I've gone and seen you there, it does feel like I'm joining your private family circle.
Yeah. Definitely.
Good. That's good then.
It's good. What do you make of the kind of whole after party scene on the island? How important is that? I mean, you've played a few.
I feel like it's so important, man, because it's like, all right, obviously it's an after party, but you know how much business actually gets done at after parties? It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, even our
music business?
Yeah, it's great. No,
all
it's great.
types of business.
All types. Nah. But like, even like just like hanging out with our brother Seth Troxler, you know what I mean? Like our label Tuskegee came from hanging out after parties, DC-10, you know what I mean? Like things come up from, you never know who you're gonna meet, you know what I mean? Like even when I seen you at that after party like 2 years ago, and I met
wasn't
John.
me.
Nah, I remember because there was this really nice after. I seen you and I got to meet John Aquaviva right after. I'm like, look at all these people I'm just getting to see and connect with and
that
just
you might
talk
not
to.
get to meet at the craziness of the club.
I was going to say, it's too busy at DC-10.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's definitely a different environment. I think it's important too, you know what I mean, to just always kind of, show face and network, you know what I mean, and be out
those
there.
have been some of the best sets, you know what I mean, during the summer. Is, you get a crazy.
Does it help
after
you
party.
craft your DJing as well? Kind of
Definitely, because
Dude,
you have to learn how to play the after party.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not the same as playing the main slot. You know what I mean? At any club, you have to learn how to, build an after party and make the vibe right. You know what I mean?
Joseph Capriati told me the other day that Marco Crolla gave him one bit of advice at an after party. He said, "Stop trying too hard. Just let the record finish." And start the other record, let it play.
It's so true, man. Marco's a G because last time we had played with him, he had told me the same thing. Like we were like playing, and I kind of played this like really kind of energetic record, and we just got on. He was like, "Yo, we got some time. You know what I'm saying? Just relax." So we learn, man. Every set we're still learning.
I was going to say, are you still learning?
Still learning to this day.
Still, definitely.
Who do you get intimidated by now? Like when you think about playing? I mean, you're going to be playing with two of the masters tonight.
That's a different story.
Honestly,
but on the island, who do you try and check out when they're here?
Honestly, like when we're playing with like our brother Seth or Jamie or Marco or like when we play with them, we're kind of like, all right, we got to sit up straight. We got to
stand up on our toes,
they're geniuses at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? And we always want to make sure like we're on point as well, you know what I mean? So there's always a bit of, all right, we're playing with so-and-so today, we got to make sure we're on point 100%. You know what I'm saying?
How did your style develop? Because I could, they always say great DJs, you can almost walk into a room blindfolded. You can probably tell they're playing. I mean, I can definitely tell you're playing. You're so fucking fast. What's that all about?
Honestly, that came from like just digging from a lot of old records, like a lot of records like from like the 2000s, like early 2000s, like even like the late 90s were just like, straight 130, 132, 135, like. And it's just like just from buying a lot of those records.
It doesn't feel like Mickey Mouse music when you play it, but it is. But it's fast.
It's but you know what it is? It's all about how you present it. You know what I'm saying? Like whether it's producing or whether it's playing the music. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like if you present it in the right way, like in a nice groove, in a groovy pocket, me and my brother are Puerto Rican, so we like to always make sure we put some salsa into whatever we do. You know what I'm saying? So we just put that little salsón in there, and we try to make it as groovy as possible. But we just like it fast, man. Like
you'd be surprised actually. Sometimes the times when you're in the club and you think it's sounding really fast, we're only like at 126. It's just things sound.
And that's another thing. You know what I mean? Like we'll be in a studio and 126 sounds so slow, but then when you go into the club, it doesn't sound as slow. It's weird. You know what I mean? Like different BPMs sound
apart from
different.
stuff in the trunk. I mean, as you say, your earlier records weren't super fast, but
yeah, we kind of OD'd on that one. We probably should have slowed it down.
I don't think there's any DJ in the world plays that at the proper tempo. Maybe.
Nah.
Even you.
Yeah, even us.
Even you.
But but again,
slow this motherfucker down.
It's and the when we produce, it's always fast. I care for it.
Yeah. And anybody who produces with us is like, they gotta notch it up a little bit.
Let's talk about the whole battle of playing music versus making music. There's you're in your element, and now you've been going 10 years. Inevitably, I was just looking back, more music came out from the Martinez Brothers 5 years ago, maybe, than it has for the last couple of years, because that schedule is crazy. So how you deal with that? What are you thinking about that? What's happening with Martinez Brothers music?
Dude, we were just trying to figure out SP1200 right before we came here. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is it's an everyday process for us. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you said, we don't have as much time as we would like to, but that's why we're happy to come to Ibiza, because we have our home here and we could bring our whole studio here. You know what I mean? So whether we have a party at DC10 or whatever, the next day we're in our house just making music and trying to experiment. You know what I mean? So, and we're also in the process of trying to make our album right now too. So.
We've talked about that before, like when I've met up with you. I mean, jazz has always been a passion for you. You both play as kids. I see you dropping like Mad Lib's name, Wayne Shorter, in you've mentioned before.
Definitely.
You could surprise a few people. I had Kenny and Louis here talking about New Yorican Soul and why they never made another one. They just said it was so expensive, basically, hard to get everyone together. But is that the kind of record you aspire to make? More, live instrumentation?
I think our first album right now is going more towards the electronic route, with maybe some here and there of some live things, but I think definitely in the future we want to open up that live kind of lane, because we're into that, man. We're into the samples and hip hop and jazz, like you said, and salsa. So we definitely gotta let the world see that. But I think right now we kind of might want to make a electronic kind of based album.
With vocals as well, though?
Yeah, with vocals, most importantly. Yeah.
It's the Bronx.
It's the Bronx, and we just need things people could sing to, and you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's all about the hooks, man. All about those hooks, yo.
I'm conscious of time. I mean, we really could do a 2-hour job with you guys here today. But I want to talk about, I think there's a link there to the after parties, how you actually ended up curating music for Givenchy, how that happened. Because you talk about what the good side of what can happen in Ibiza.
Yeah, exactly.
I believe that.
And that's another one of the things. Like, we were just a random day going to DC10, and everybody goes to DC10, you know what I mean? Like Diddy, Madonna, there's a lot of celebs that go to DC10, you know what I'm saying? So it's just one of these regular days that we actually happened to be wearing Givenchy without even knowing that Riccardo Tisci was gonna be at the club. And we had met him wearing these pieces and he got excited, you know what I'm saying? So he seen us play, and after he seen us play, he was like, yo, bring these guys to Paris right now. He called us, we went over, we had a meeting, and he was like, yo, he wants you guys to handle everything that has to do with the music for Givenchy.
So how did you go about that? Because I looked on, I mean, it's not just one show you've done. You've done a number of shows.
It's a process, man.
Yeah, man. That was just a lot of trial and error. You know what I mean? A lot of music making, a lot of experimenting. You know what I mean? Because that kind of side is just so different. You know, you're not gonna go and produce 135 techno for
I mean, the clips I've seen online, it's a lot of your own. I mean, it's out there. So I congratulate you. It's like you should play some of that stuff out sometimes.
No, we're going to definitely.
Nah, but we kind of approached it like we were kind of approaching maybe a movie score or something. You know what I'm saying? Just going somewhere completely different, trying to make, because it's like a movie.
Trying to make a score, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Nah, we completely. Yeah.
You're quite into the whole look of the Martinez. But do you aspire to, you look at someone like Drake with OVO, or
Nah, man,
somebody more from the hip hop world of doing your own brand?
Yeah, I mean, we actually have our own brand coming out soon.
Do your own version of Odd Future?
Yeah, we actually have a brand right now we're working on. It's called Morph 7 with our longtime friend James Z from New York, who's an incredible designer. And yeah, we've just been actually, you know, setting that up as we speak. You know what I mean? We got all our samples done. And yeah, just starting to put that out there.
It's kind of been, fashion has been kind of been with us since we were kids, though, you know what I'm saying? Like, because even when you were in the Bronx, if you weren't coming to school fresh, you were getting ragged on, you know what I'm saying? So we would never, like, we would make sure we was always on point, you know what I mean? Like, that just comes, like,
It's great to see you do it. I don't think there's anyone really done it from the world of electronic quite as well. I mean, you look at someone like Off-White and the way it kind of moves seamlessly between the worlds.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Virgil's crazy.
It's inspiring.
Perfect.
A lot of what we've done here this week is about coaching the next generation. You really are role models for that and what you've achieved over the last 10 years. We've been working with the Burn residency. I mean, aside from just handling the schedule, what advice would you give to the Martinez Brothers of the future?
Yeah.
if you were sitting out there 10 years time, 10 years ago.
Yeah, persistence, yo. The power of persistence. Seriously, like, no matter how many times you fail, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would have never thought I'd be up here, you know what I mean? Like, or let alone playing back to like a master at work, my heroes, you know what I'm saying? Like,
there was so many times where we were like, man, should we keep doing this or should we, you know, like, should we just do something else? Like, but
we just kept
like my
going.
brother said, persistence, you know what I mean? And once you have something in your mind, a goal, just don't let it go, you know what I mean?
Completely.
And be unique, you know what I mean? Be yourself, because there's a lot of copycats out there, and there's nobody that can be you like you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
you don't want to get lost in the sauce.
Yeah, definitely. So just be yourself, definitely.
And what about the actual skills of just DJing? It's sort of like honing your craft. I mean, that's the interesting thing. I mean, it's funny, we were talking about Martin Garrix earlier. You know, completely different world of music, but not that different in age. And when he arrived on the world, people were kind of surprised at how good he was at DJing. And he had actually been doing it, like almost like a wedding DJ level and school level. And that obviously is a big part of you were able to, build your craft out of the kind of spotlight.
Yes.
Yeah, but sure. I think it's like also we studied our forefathers, you know what I mean? Like we were deep into, like you said, Timmy Regisford, Larry Levan, like we were listening to their mixes all the time, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I think it's really important if you're a new DJ coming out to just, listen to the past and listen how, these DJs were mixing records and,
and how they were making these records too.
Yeah, exactly.
There's endless things you can learn, you know what I mean? Like just to develop your craft and your sound. So you just got to go out there and study, man. Study
take the best out of everything you like, you know what I mean? And just make it your own.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there definitely seems to be a more interest and curiosity from the new generation about the past, which is really healthy. You're very much representing that tonight.
Thank you.
Tell us about, what are you thinking about that set tonight at Adult Villa?
Wow.
Have you talked to them about it?
I was just talking to Louis right now, man.
You made a record with Louis, right?
We got a couple of records with Louis, man. We made like almost a whole album with Louis.
Yeah, we got an album with Louis in the stash right now. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Like, it's supposed to come out like the end of the year, you know what I mean? But that's another person, man. When we get into the studio with Louis, it's like, yo, bro, we knock out like 5 tracks in one day. Like, he is
we're talking about his prolific period in the 90s with him and Kenny when they were just a factory, proper factory.
A factory.
And high quality factory.
Straight up.
Bro, like, they were who we strive to be like. Like, I'm literally getting chills right now just think about it because, like, I remember when my dad came home with that first 1990 to 1995 BBC Grey CD that had all their stuff. And we would just listen to that every single day. Like Kenny Dope, Disco Heat, Louis Vega, Soul Heaven, like all that stuff.
They have no idea how much they taught us without even knowing.
Yeah, they don't even know.
Yeah.
Like, they don't even know. It's crazy.
Good time to just finish off talking about your labels, how that fits into your life, and what's the difference, just for everyone here, between Cuttin Headz and Tuskegee?
Well, Cuttin Headz right now is very much club-based, very much, dance floor. Tuskegee is more going in the route of just going left field, you know what I mean? And just more experimental electronic music. Like our newest release now on Tuskegee is Seth and Omar S. that they did, tracks they did like 10 years ago, you know what I mean? And
we kind of want to pay homage to the past too, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
Like bring back, cats that we haven't, that we've been buying records from like back in the day that we might not really see so much today, you know what I'm saying? So maybe like a Glenn Underground or like a You
like
know,
Omar S. Or,
yeah,
you know,
exactly.
these guys.
You know what I mean?
Cuttin Headz
So-
is more just current. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Current stuff we're feeling and playing.
How
So.
do you find music now? How does music find you? Do you still go
Man.
vinyl shopping?
We still go
Every day.
vinyl shopping, Discogs. You know, we're on every site you could possibly imagine. You know what I mean? We're there, man. We're digging all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Forever.
And do you ever play a part?
Oh man, one time I did and it was the worst. I never did it again. So,
Really?
Yeah. I need my bro, man. I need to look right here and he needs to be here.
Yo,
You know what I
real
mean?
quick.
Even at after parties?
Yo,
After parties is a little bit more, you know,
Yo.
chill, but
I caught swine flu one time. He had to go to Singapore by himself.
I had to go to Singapore by myself, man. That was-
You know what the old soul groups used to do back in the 80s? Yeah, you could have like Frankie Beverly and Mays in 3 places at the same time. So you know, like, your agents out there are willing to
yeah. Take note.
It's a good idea, Steve. Anyway, all right.
Definitely.
A few questions from the audience because we're trying to stay on time today. There you go. The microphone. This is one of our Bern resident.
Nice.
Yo, do you listen to also demos that are sent to you, or just for the Tuskegee part, like the?
No,
you
we
said
listen
only-
to everything. Everything. If you want after the show, we'll give you our email, whatever, and yeah, we listen to everything that comes our way for sure.
And it's kind of like a system, you know what I'm saying? Like, we listen to what we can, and then we also have, you know, our cousin Jesse, who's also, he has like our same ear, you know what I'm saying, who's also going through stuff. And our brother Gabriel Torres is also always going through things, you know what I mean? Because we have a specific email for that. So, I mean, there's a lot of times where we can't listen to all the tracks as much as we want, but that's why we have our brothers
got the
here
team,
to,
yeah.
you know, always keep us on point. So, yeah, any demos that you guys have, yeah, definitely send off. You know, we'll definitely,
Send them our way.
yeah.
Another question? I noticed you often play. I mean, you play a lot of new stuff and unreleased stuff, but you play way old stuff
Yeah.
that's completely mixed up the whole time.
Yeah, we always like to do like edits of a lot of the older stuff and make it, you know, so we're playable today too.
Done it.
Hi, which was your best after party in Ibiza?
Wow. Damn, bro. Our best after party in Ibiza.
Yeah, I got
Man, last year, Marco's at the after
Yeah.
Marco at Cova Santo
Yeah, it
was
was
like
legendary.
pretty
And
insane.
also, we kind of been doing a Seth Troxler and my brother's birthday party, like an annual, like end of the year jam.
yeah, this is gonna be the 3rd annual.
Yeah, and it's been really, really fun. You know what I mean? So that's another thing that's really exciting.
I was going to ask you about the Space 24-hour party. What is the longest set you've ever done?
That was
That
it.
was the longest set, yeah.
Right.
24 hours.
That was it, yo.
24 and a half.
Yeah. Now the party was 35, but we played 24. Shout out to Jesse, Patrick, Blas,
Yeah,
Gabriel,
Joseph.
like everybody that played. Everybody killed it that day. You know what I mean? Everybody. It was amazing.
Were
Did you have
there?
a special route? I didn't end up making. Do you have a special route to the toilet?
I
Because you
held
know how
my,
hectic it can get on that roof.
no, I
every
held my
time
piss
we were
for
just doing
24
that.
hours.
Every time, every single time, it was amazing.
Another question for the Martinez Brothers. Hey, look at that. We're right on time. From the IMS, really looking forward tonight.
Definitely.
Chris and Steve, the Martinez Brothers.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys.